Hi, everyone. Welcome. I get asked all the time, probably almost every day, whether it's with someone I'm working with, or it's an email, or some kind of message, or somehow it reaches me, and it's almost daily. And the question is essentially various ways of asking the same question. And that question is, how do I live to my highest potential? What is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to understand? How can I do it? I know there's so much more in me and I don't know how to bring it out. I want to lead my best life, RJ. How do I do this? I'm going to tell you. Do what you tangibly know to be true and expect no results. All right, let's look at that statement and what that really means. Okay, when I say do what you tangibly know to be true, okay, I'm not talking about information that you've memorized. Tangible knowingness is inside you through experience. So we must operate from the real self, the true self, the sentience, what you really are, and what is tangibly known to be true within you that has nothing to do with societal conditioning, brainwashing, beliefs, concepts, ideologies, roles, memories, indentations, and identifications. Forget that. That's the problem. So when I say do what you tangibly know to be true, what we're really talking about is the wisdom, love, and the subsets of those things are your talents and abilities that are all aspects of what you really are. Sentience, which is divine intelligence. This is tangible when you're doing something that you know to be true. In fact, you can feel it because it doesn't take place in your head. That's one way to know the difference. And as we operate this way, what we're starting to tap into is our actual character, our morality, our ethics, which we come into this incarnation with and will leave with as well. So doing what you tangibly know to be true, not information you've memorized, not identifications that you've made with certain roles, concepts, or beliefs, and not indentations that have gotten implanted within your subconscious mind. Do what you tangibly know to be true. That's number one. The second part of that is expect no results, which for the ego mind is gonna drive us crazy, right? Because we are a result-oriented society, are we not? That's the problem. We've lost the process. We've lost the flow. We've lost the joy. We've lost the actual act of imagination and creativity. We've taken ourselves out of that. I'll take it a step further. We've put ourselves in time through thinking. Human beings have trapped themselves in time through thinking, past, future, past, future. You have now imprisoned yourself. You have now imprisoned your consciousness. You have limited your ultimate and unlimited imagination. And we're going to talk more about that later on. Now, so do what you tangibly know to be true and expect no results. By expecting no results, what happens is you stay in the creative flow. You stay in the flow state, right? That's the term today, right? The flow state. Right? You are perpetually, completely engaged in what you're doing. You never remove yourself from it. So when you do what you tangibly know to be true and you expect no results, you are completely locked in and zoned in. All of your higher mind, all of your attention, and all of your energy is going towards one thing. And you never take yourself out of it. That is how to live to your highest potential. That's how you do it. I'm very excited about what it is that we're going to talk about today. This is truly a once in a lifetime, maybe even beyond that, once in a lifetime kind of course. This is my self-mastery, what exists beyond enlightenment course. And I'm thrilled to be able to offer to you teachings, understandings that is extremely rare in terms of it being experienced, as well as it being available to people. And so why don't we sort of start with the conception and the inception of the self-mastery course, What Exists Beyond Enlightenment. Many of you are probably already familiar that I was deathly sick, permanently paralyzed from the chest down, chronic illness, life-threatening conditions, etc. And through a different state of consciousness, which then turned out to be the book, Supercharged Self-Healing, as well as the mobile app and course, I was able to, as I predicted, I was going to put myself back together through these specific exercises and protocols, which I've done. I've helped countless thousands of people at this point all over the planet. Now, where this comes in, this self-mastery beyond enlightenment, we could say that these tangible realizations and understandings are how I have been able to lead my life or live my life in a certain way, we'll say. Most of you know I work with people one-on-one. I do healings. I teach courses. I write books. There's a second book coming out next summer. Created a mobile app. I'm going to start doing retreats. I opened up a nonprofit that's going extremely well. The results are incredible in terms of the people that have gotten access through scholarships to the teachings. So I lead an incredibly busy and active life, productive life, a meaningful life, a purposeful life, an impactful life. And I'm able to do it in a certain way. And I think this is really the key. Being able to unlock our highest potential and to be able to live that way, not through stress and anxiety and grinding every day and everything is a battle. These teachings, these understandings, these very rare states of consciousness, and therefore, we'll call it knowledge if you like, is rarely accessed, rarely understood, rarely embodied, and then taught. And so I'm able to lead my life in a very joyous, pleasant, happy, purposeful way while operating at my highest potential, leading a life of things that are actually beyond enlightenment, which I know for most of us, there's something beyond enlightenment. There is. And that's what you're going to learn. There is a lot beyond enlightenment. And these teachings are beyond life-altering. They're beyond total transformation. These understandings will stay with you for eternity. Once you work with yourself in this way and understand these things, you cannot unlearn them. They become a part of you. And it is one of my greatest honors to be able to, one, still be here, to be able to experience this state of being, this state of consciousness, once again, and to be able to offer the teachings to everyone. It's my greatest honor, it's my greatest thrill, it's my greatest joy, and I'm going to share it with you. This course, Self-Mastery, What Exists Beyond Enlightenment, is going to have three main components. Okay? The first component is going to be the 4 levels, as I experience them, the 4 levels of self-realization. Okay, that will be the first component. The next component is going to be the 12 laws of self-mastery. And the final component will be the 12 eternal truths. And 12 is the magic number, by the way, and I'm going to get into why it's the magic number in the course itself, but 12 is the magic number. So let's go to that first component about the 4 levels of self-realization. Now, from my perspective, my direct, tangible understanding is that self-realization is the same thing as enlightenment. Okay? Now, enlightenment is not a universal place or destination or level of consciousness. So I think this is completely misunderstood. So each soul is different. Okay, and we know what the soul is. The soul is sentience given a complement of energy in order to create with. We create thoughts, emotions, actions, behaviors. We animate the body. We create experiences. But what we are is the sentience. That is our level of love and wisdom, our divine intelligence. Okay, no two souls are the same. Okay, so that means RJ's enlightenment is not the same as my neighbor's or my partner's or my acupuncturist's or whomever. Okay, just like every grain of sand is different, every single soul is different. None of them have the exact same amount of sentience nor the quality of sentience. And I'm going to get into quality of sentience in the course as well. So self-realization or enlightenment is not a universal destination, nor is it the same. It cannot be because every soul is different. That's number one. Now, what we think of as self-realization or enlightenment, what that really is direct communion with what we really are, which is our higher self. Okay, we are but a drop, about 2.5% of our higher self, and that's how much fits within inside the physical vehicle, whether human or alien. That's about how much is in there, about 2.5% of what we really are. Now, upon authentic self-realization and enlightenment, which is much, much, much rarer, authentic self-realization and enlightenment than what passes today, is this soul would have direct communion with the higher self, and therefore would have access to boundless amounts of information that go well beyond the 5 senses and the intellect. Now that is authentic self-realization or enlightenment. You have direct access to what you really are, the entire body of sentience and energy, all that wisdom, all that experience, all that know-how, if you will, is at your disposal. An authentically self-realized being would be so different. They would stand out. Now, from my perspective, what passes today for enlightenment is anyone who's just simply moved past the thinking mind. Now, that is astounding and quite an achievement. That is not authentic self-realization or enlightenment. That is simply moving a certain frequency band above the thinking mind, which is fantastic. But we're going to be talking about and teaching things that go well beyond that. An authentically self-realized being is in full communion with what they are, where they come from, and they have access to all that information and to their natural environment. Now we're starting to see how different an authentically self-realized being actually is in comparison to what passes for enlightenment today, from my perspective. So that's one of the things that we're going to be covering. And this first level of self-realization or enlightenment is just literally the first level. Most beings that actually reach this level, because of the state of consciousness and the state of being that you end up experiencing, this bliss state, this all communion, being one with everything, vibrating in a way that is so different, most of these beings that experience this figure that this is it, that this is the ultimate. There's nothing past this. I've reached the bliss state. I am one with everything. There's no separation. I've lost the self, the false self, the ego mind identity, right? It's gone. That's absolutely true, but that is just the beginning. That is just the beginning. There is much, much past self-realization and enlightenment. That is stage 1. There's 4. And we're going to go into great detail about what those other stages are like. And I'm even going to give instructions as to how to be able to do these things, at least through my own direct experience in terms of how I do it and what I've been able to do through my own consciousness. So the 4 levels of self-realization, it's going to be absolutely revolutionary and groundbreaking. I'm even going to give examples of certain souls or certain incarnations that have experienced that level of self-realization. And I'm going to give human examples of souls that have experienced those other 3 levels that are it's even more rarefied air, if you will, the other levels of self-realization. But we're going to go into that in great detail in a way that, from my understanding, humanity hasn't been given this information perhaps really ever before in this way. So I'm very excited about giving this to you. Okay, let's go to another aspect of this course. And that aspect is the 12 eternal truths. Now, the 12 eternal truths are, we could call fact. Okay, these things are tangibly known. They are eternally true. They are not contextual. Okay, these 12 eternal truths apply right now for us in this timeline, in this version of Earth, in the 21st century, in this frequency, and this version of RJ. These things are eternally true, and they will be true 10,000 years from now. And they were true 10,000 years ago, if time even existed. So these 12 eternal truths are bedrock. These are things that you put in your back pocket forever. They are always the truth. They are always tangible. They are always what is. And remember, the 5 physical senses can never reveal the one true concrete reality. And everything that you're going to learn in this self-mastery course is way beyond the 5 physical senses and the intellect. Dare I say, none of it was accessed through my 5 physical senses or my intellect. So the 12 eternal truths are going to be things that you can rely on and know and have forever. And you operate from that as almost your own spine, as your own backbone. And they will disband many spiritual fictions that have been carried forward for eons of time as they get watered down and watered down and watered down. So we're going to get right back to the actual tangibility of these 12 eternal truths. And you're going to be able to use them now and forever. Now, the third part of the self-mastery course are the 12 laws of self-mastery. Now, one way that we can look at this, and it's just a comparison, if you will, okay? We have been given laws, commandments, as to what not to do, right? We are all aware of that. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, etc., 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 right? When Moses was able to communicate with Source, Creator, God, Moses was given these directives about what not to do. Most of us are familiar about what not to do at this point, right? The question becomes, what should I do? And why? That's what I'm interested in. So really, these new 12 laws of self-mastery are going to be what to do and why. So we're going to be able to understand how to be in complete union with the self and the deeper laws, the deeper eternal and immutable laws of existence itself, and how to translate that into everyday behavior. This is of paramount interest to me, and this will radically transform your entire existence when you start to work with the 12 tenets of self-mastery. They are unlike anything. This will allow you to live to your highest potential because you are now working with the universe at its core. We're going to remove misperceptions, misunderstandings, and misidentifications. We're going to work directly, tangibly with what is, with how the universe actually works. And we're going to have day-to-day teachings and understandings as to how to employ them. And I don't want you to think, by the way, I don't want you to think at all. Thinking is not what you think it is. But I don't want you to think that these are going to be so far beyond any way to apply them. The opposite is actually true. They're incredibly simple. Incredibly simple. And remember, inherent in simplicity is a power and an elegance. And that's when you know you're working with the truth. And the 12 laws of self-mastery are unlike anything that's taught today. And these 12 laws are, we could say, in a way, how to work to your highest potential and to how to do it in your everyday life. You don't have to go live in a cave like Merlin or go live in the mountains of Tibet. You can. You can. But you don't have to. You don't have to. It's more challenging to be engaged and participating in society and to be able to work with yourself in this way, in a truly, authentically masterful way, than completely removing yourself from society. And I have been drawn to do that. But I know in this lifetime, this is not the path for me. The path for me is to engage, to be a participant in everyday society, and yet be able to operate this way and share these teachings. So this is what you're going to learn. So the 4 levels of self-realization, the 12 eternal truths, and the 12 laws of self-mastery. What to do and why. How to actually live to your highest potential. I have shared these teachings with a select few individuals over the past couple of years that have worked with me one-on-one. And so I think it's worth it for me to relay to you what some of those experiences were like for some of these people. There is I won't use their real names. There is a young lady who first came to me with a lot of fears. She was a minority owner of a company. She was a bit frustrated with her position. She was afraid of certain things in terms of business. She was afraid of certain things in terms of her health. She was afraid of certain things in terms of interpersonal relationships. She was held back a great deal from her own potential, from her own inner peace, from achieving the things that she was capable of achieving. And she had already put herself in a certain position, we'll say, in this life. As I said, she was a minority owner of a business, married, children, certainly from the outside looking in. We would probably label this person successful from a humanistic perspective. But there were many, many issues that she was experiencing. Like I said, she was riddled with fear, anxiety, self-doubt, toxic self-talk, frustrated within her business, even though she was a minority owner. And there were obstacles and shortcomings that she was experiencing in her interpersonal life, as well as the relationships that she had with her family members, both close and extended family members. And so we can fast forward to where she is today. So today she has no fear. She is now full owner of the business. She actually bought out the other owner, and she now completely owns and runs it. Well over 200 employees. We're talking about over $10 million a year in revenue. She has absolutely skyrocketed. All of the limitations that she was operating within have been removed. She's an absolute business powerhouse. She's moved past all the fears that she has about death, about understanding the nature of the greater reality. She's moved past having qualms about being powerful, about how to be powerful in terms of using her energy properly. She's learned how to interact with people, not only just her family members, but the well over 200 employees that she now has. She has learned a whole different dynamic in terms of being a compassionate, powerful, thoughtful leader. And she does it through example. And it's because of the things that she's learned through the self-mastery course. She has tools in her tool belt because of these teachings and protocols and understandings that just frankly other people just don't have. They just don't. You're going to have them. You're going to be working with them. And if any of those things registered within you, limitations within your, say, your business life, now believe it or not, these spiritual teachings, real spiritual teachings, they're spiritual in the sense that they're applicable. Real spirituality is applicable in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day moment of life. Otherwise, it's worthless. So these teachings apply to everything. The truth is the truth. And when you understand them on this level, with this kind of breadth and this kind of depth, your entire life changes. And this young lady, her entire life has literally changed in every single way. And I can't tell you how happy and proud and honored I am to see what I can already see that's inside of each and every one of you, to see it come to the surface. So you have the tangible experience of that. Let me give you another example. This also young lady came to me. She has multiple master's degrees. She is highly, highly intelligent. Her intellect works as well as anyone's. She has been hampered her entire life, even with all her education and all her training. She has been hampered her entire life with issues that have arisen from, we'll say, a very difficult childhood. There was abuse, ongoing abuse, for years on multiple levels. Because of that, there has been interpersonal relationship issues. There has been issues in terms of being able to feel secure, safe, even within her own skin. There's been severe intimacy issues, which is perfectly understandable based upon the circumstances that occurred for well over a decade. She has been unable to gain any traction in terms of overcoming certain illness, physical and emotional illness through the trauma. And this is someone who's highly educated, highly intelligent, and kind of been stuck for a while, actually, and not being able to move past these things. And then on top of that, because of this being in neutral, if you will, in terms of her interior life, her business life has been stuck, almost on hold, not moving forward for about the past 6 years. Now we can fast forward to where this young lady is at. She has moved past issues that she has been dealing with for literally 40, 45 years. They're no longer part of her reality anymore. Through the teachings, through the self-mastery teachings, by simply applying the 12 laws of self-mastery and the 12 eternal truths. She now tangibly experiences these things, and she no longer experiences the trauma. She no longer experiences not being able to engage in a deep way, not only with herself, but with other people. It has unlocked for her, in terms of her professional career, an understanding that she now shares with her clients that have added and enhanced her 2 master's degrees that took her to a certain point, But now what she now understands, tangibly understands, and she's able to share this with people, has changed not only everything for her, it changes everything for the people that she talks to and helps and works with. She has completely removed herself from the position that she was in prior to these teachings and understandings. She is light years ahead of it. And one of the things I want everyone to understand, these kind of teachings are not available through so-called education. Not even close. Okay? These teachings are divine higher consciousness. And when you actually apply them with a backdrop of the understandings that she has through her education, it's been able to catapult her past anyone that is doing anything that she is doing or what she was doing before. She's put herself in her own category, which I find quite interesting. And I'll probably be doing some interviews with her, by the way. She's a brilliant lady, a very evolved soul. And what she's been able to achieve, she's been working on her whole life, and it was only until that she came across the self-mastery teachings and the 12 eternal truths that she was able to leave behind trauma on a deep, deep level and unlock her potential in terms of her business potential, and her personal life and her business life is totally different. She's happy, she's secure, she's grounded, she's learned more about herself than she could have ever imagined, and now she's able to share this. She's able to teach some of these things. Remarkable. Remarkable. This is in you as well. And let's do another example. Since it just came to me, let's do another one. So this gentleman has been a doctor, and I say has been a doctor for most of his life, we'll call it 20 years, it might be a little more, but we'll call it 20 years. And with all the things that have occurred the last few years, he has he feels he cannot operate with integrity in terms of the way the medical profession operates. He has left it behind. He has literally left it behind. Now, with that was a lot of stress, anxiety, self-doubt, concerns about being able to provide for his family, concerns about being able to feel fulfilled in his work, because at a certain time he felt very fulfilled in his work. So he had a litany of challenges. And you can imagine all that schooling, all that debt, all those patients, all those clients, that certain way of living, right? To be able to move past that and come out the other end well beyond than where he started. And this is through the teachings, the self-mastery teachings and the 12 eternal truths. This gentleman is going to be a revolutionary. What he now understands, being a former doctor, and now he's almost done getting his PhD, by the way. What he's going to be integrating, because of what he's been taught through these teachings and what he already knew, he's going to be a one of one. And he no longer fears not being able to provide for his family. In fact, he's so inspired, he's already putting together a whole new business plan. And people that used to be his patients are already coming back to him. And he's going to be assisting them in a completely different way, but from his perspective, a more impactful way, and a way that he can operate with integrity, which is everything, the authenticity. We want to be able to operate in an authentic way, what is authentic to you, because this is where all the wisdom is. This is where all the love is. This is where the talents and abilities are. And this is where your power is. And this gentleman has been unlocked, completely unlocked. These things are within you. It doesn't matter what you were doing before or what you're doing now. If you want to be able to do it in a way that you've never thought possible, this is how you do it. Through deeper understandings that are simply not available. They're not being taught. They are now. I'm teaching them once again. Without being too specific. These incredible people are you. It's you. This is how you reach your highest potential. By working with yourself in a way that you've never worked with yourself before. This is the key. And these are just 3 that came to mind, by the way. Anyone who knows me, I never really prepare anything. I can't even memorize anything, which is a whole nother story. I can't memorize anything. Everything is spontaneous. Everything, you can think of it as channeling if you like. I'm not, but you can think of it as channeling. These are just 3 people that came to mind as we sat down to do the video. There's countless people that I've taught some of these things to. Their life is completely different. When you work with the truth, there is complete transformation. It's not change. It's not change. I'm not interested in change, and I don't think you are. Change implies the residue of the past. I'm interested in transformation and transcendence and transmutation. Alchemy, to bring out the ultimate potential that is already within. And that's what self-mastery is. And it's yours. Now. Let's go over the curriculum for the self-mastery, What Lies Beyond Enlightenment. We will learn about the 12 eternal truths. These are kind of like the spine or backbone of existence. These are things that you're going to be able to rely on now and forever. The 12 laws of self-mastery, and we can think of these as what to do and why. As we alluded to earlier, we talked about the 10 Commandments being what not to do. But now we were going to close that loop and we're going to understand what to do and why. And those will be the 12 laws of self-mastery. The 4 levels of self-realization, which we also spoke about earlier. Again, enlightenment or self-realization as it is accepted today is not what I experience, and also enlightenment, being directly connected to what you are, your higher self, is really just the beginning. Even though for most souls that do actually achieve authentic self-realization, because of the state of bliss and the oneness, they assume that there's nothing past this, there's nothing beyond this. There is much beyond self-realization. Now the course, how it's going to break down, it's going to be taught over 4 months, and it's weekly. So there's going to be 16 one-hour live Zoom classes. Plus at the end of every one of those is going to be 15 minutes of open Q&A. And I'll be able to answer your questions and comments for about 15 minutes after each one of our weekly sessions, which goes out over 4 months. Now, what we're going to do as well in this is what I'm calling our Merlin's Roundtable. So once a month, in addition to those 16 Zoom classes, we're going to have a live session for an hour, maybe about an hour and a half, if it goes to an hour and a half. But within that hour, there's going to be 3 students that are going to request prior to that, and I'm going to spend 20 minutes with each one of those students, one-on-one, and everyone will be able to listen in and learn from that discourse. So not only do students get one-on-one for 20 minutes with me, but everyone is also going to get to learn and garner from all of that at the same time. So I think that's really fantastic. That'll be once a month. So what that does is it brings the entire course to 20 total sessions over 4 months. This is going to be uploaded as we go on into the mobile app and online course, and it's going to be there for you to access whenever it is that you need. So as we go, things are going to be uploaded and you'll have access to it 24/7 as we go. In addition to this, for everyone that participates in this, There's something called Voxer, which is kind of like almost a walkie-talkie. So you can have Voxer access to me. So you can leave voicemails and or text messages through Voxer. It's a free service. You just download it onto your smartphone, and you'll be able to communicate with me that way, as well as just regular email. So you'll have Voxer access and email access, plus of course the private community of those that are going to be taking the self-mastery course and the support that's contained within that, as well as our customer service team that'll be able to support anything that you have going on, technical issues, questions that you have, troubles with the app, etc., etc. The price for the self-mastery is $27.95. That's the standard price, $27.95 for this 4-month course. Now, for anyone that has purchased the Supercharged Self-Healing online course and mobile app, you are going to get a 15% discount on the $27.95. So please avail yourself of that discount. And there is a payment plan as well that is available. You have to contact my team for the details of that, but there is a payment plan. And for those that have done Supercharged Self-Healing and bought the mobile course, mobile app, please enjoy the 15% off. Okay, we're going to go over again in this revolutionary course what you're going to learn. Some of the main things, some of the highlights. You're going to be able to actually unlock your super consciousness. This is never taught, never understood how to do it, but that's what we're going to do in this course. You're going to gain freedom from your lifelong limitation program. That voice in your head, which is not you, which is essentially your subconscious patterned egoic mind. That's what the voice in your head is. We're going to learn how to gain freedom for that. So you're no longer going to be limited to what you've been programmed to be limited to. You're no longer going to be operating outside the box. We're going to remove the box. You're going to experience the limitlessness and the power inherent within the true self, within the real you, within the sentience, within the immortal self. Because up until now, we've been limited to the 5 senses and the intellect and our societal conditioning. We're going to completely annihilate those things and move way, way outside of those things into your true potential. The confidence and teachings to actualize your desires for success, evolution, and happiness. What else is there? If you really think about it, what else is there? Your personal success, your evolution, and your happiness. You're also going to gain a far greater and tangible awareness of detachment or non-attachment. This is it could be the single most important thing that we learn in this lifetime, and it's completely misunderstood about what detachment means. Detachment is power, because you get your energy back. You're no longer attached or stuck to things, to concepts, to people, to beliefs. And when you detach, you become immensely powerful. You're going to get a greater and more tangible awareness of your willpower. That's what we use for everything. You're going to actually be able to develop laser focus, single pointedness of focus. Distraction, we're going to leave in the rearview mirror. We're going to sharpen your decision making because we're going to have far greater control over the finite mind that makes us jump from this to this to this to this. Those days are over. You're going to start tapping into your inherent talents and abilities because we're going to transcend the limitations of the human condition. So all the things that you came into this lifetime with, the talents and abilities are within you. They're not outside of you. And they're not in your programmed mind. They're within you. And we're going to start to access those things. You're going to have a true level of self-mastery over thoughts and emotions. Thinking is not knowing. Emoting is not loving. And this is going to become tangible for you. And when we work with self-mastery and what exists beyond enlightenment, thoughts and emotions are just part of the human experience. You're not human. You're having a human experience. But your highest potential goes way beyond just limiting yourself to thoughts and emotions. As we work in this way, higher intuitive functionality. Now, the catch-all for higher intuitive functionality would simply be intuition, right? Your inner knowingness. So there are many different forms of higher intuitive functionality, too many to list. Common ones are all the clairs, clairsentience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, etc., etc. But really, they're all forms of inner knowingness or greater knowingness or intuition. And as we work with self-mastery, the intuition becomes tangible, and you become far more aware of it. And these are one of the things that you're going to begin to experience. Freedom. That should just be number one, right? What else is there? Freedom. You're going to actually experience what that means. Not as a concept, but literally. You're going to start to begin to work with a tangible experience of real achievement. How to actually achieve things that you've wanted to do, that you've been derailed for various reasons. And it's really always some sort of concept. The voice in your head is telling you why you can't do this or justify you not being able to achieve these dreams. We're going to blow those things out of the water. Those things are gone. Personal success in all of its forms. This is what you really are. You're an ultimate, immortal creator being. The success is within you. It's not outside of you. In fact, there's nothing outside of you. That's another conversation. But all success is already within you. You're going to learn how to actually bring it out. Now, who is this class for? Well, advanced and evolved souls who are interested in embodying the master within. And just as we said, it's all inside. For most of us, it's been covered up. Layers and layers and layers of subconscious egoic programming. All sorts of identifications and indentations that have occurred through incarnations. We're going to be able to tangibly experience and embody. You are the master that you are, that is within you. This is also perfect for those who have read my first book, Supercharged Self-Healing, and are looking for the next step of teachings to aid in their evolving of their consciousness. Absolutely. This is at the top of the food chain, so to speak. What we're going to be working with is the pinnacle of higher consciousness, and to be able to do it in a tangible and applicable and everyday way. This course is also perfect for anyone who desires to work at their highest potential and wants to let go of their deeply ingrained limitations of self-doubt, self-sabotage, and limiting beliefs. We are always holding ourselves back through self-doubt, self-sabotage, and limiting beliefs. This course will give you the tools and the experience to be able to move past those, finally, and to lead and live the life that you're capable of. And finally, this course is perfect for someone who wants to work directly with the teachings of the Ascended Masters. This course, Self-Mastery, What Exists Beyond Enlightenment, this may very well be the most impactful and transformative and fun course that you ever take. Ever. I can't wait to work with all of you. There's an excitement to be able to do these things live. We're going to be able to interact with each other. We're going to learn things that you may have never imagined that you were going to be able to learn. And you have no idea what it means to me to be able to interact with you live directly in this way, and for me to literally just pour out my heart, pour out all my wisdom, all my love, and give it to you. This is the ultimate. Self-mastery and what exists beyond enlightenment. We are breaking new ground. You are going to be at the forefront of this higher consciousness. The way that this earth is moving, there's going to be teachers that are needed. And for those that are going to be availing themselves of these understandings, you are going to be the lighthouse for this new earth. Your understandings of metaphysics, your ability to work with yourself in a supremely higher consciousness way is going not only to be essential for your own evolution and your own quality of life, it's going to pave the way for others. By you just being you, because of what you now understand about yourself and how to work with yourself in the highest ways. I can't wait for this course. This is going to be so much fun. I get to give everything that I have. I get to be of true service, and I get to share things that will change and transform your entire life. I can't wait to see you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm counting the days. I'll see you soon.